Hello and welcome to episode 66.3 of the Berean Manifesto, brought to you by the Ekklesian House. This is Pastor Bill, and we're doing things a little different this week with our daily devotional leading up to Easter. Glad to have you here with us on day 3. Today we're looking at the betrayal and arrest of Jesus. The following is a composite that I put together of Matthew chapter 26, verses 47 through 68, Mark chapter 14, verses 43 through 65, Luke chapter 22, verses 47 through 53, and verses 63 through 71, and John chapter 18, verses 2 through 14, and 19 through 24. Today's passage picks up right where we left off in 66.2. While he was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, suddenly arrived. With him was a mob of chief priests, scribes, and elders of the people, with lanterns, torches, swords, and clubs. Jesus, knowing everything that was about to happen to him, went out and said to them, "Who is it that you're seeking?" "Jesus of Nazareth," they answered. "I am," Jesus told them. Judas, who betrayed him, was also standing with them when Jesus told them, "I am." They were taken aback and fell prostrated to the ground. Then he asked them again, "Who is it that you're seeking?" "Jesus of Nazareth," they said. "I told you, I am," Jesus replied. "So if you're looking for me, let these men go." This was to fulfill the words he had said, "I have not lost one of those you have given me." Now Judas had given them a sign. "The one I kiss," he said, "he's the one. Arrest him and take him away under guard." So he went up to Jesus and he said, "Rabbi," and kissed him. "Judas, my friend," Jesus asked him, "why have you come? Are you betraying the Son of Man with a kiss?" They took hold of him and arrested him. When those around him saw what was happening, they asked, "Lord, should we strike with the sword?" Peter, who was standing nearby, drew his sword and struck the high priest's servant, Malchus, cutting off his ear. Jesus said to him, "No more of this. Put your sword away. All who take up the sword will perish by the sword. Or do you not think that I can call on my Father, and he will provide me here and now with more than 12 legions of angels? How, then, would the scriptures be fulfilled that say it must happen this way? Am I not to drink the cup the Father has given me?" Touching the servant's ear, Jesus healed him. Then Jesus said to the mob, "Have you come out with swords and clubs, as if I were a criminal to capture me? Every day I used to sit among you, teaching in the temple, and you didn't arrest me. But this is your hour and the dominion of darkness. All this must happen so that the writings of the prophets would be fulfilled." Then the disciples all deserted him and ran away. Now a certain young man, wearing nothing but a linen cloth, was following him. They caught hold of him, but he left the linen cloth behind and ran away naked. They seized Jesus and led him to Annas, since he was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, who was the high priest that year. Caiaphas was the one that had advised the Jews that it would be better for one man to die for the people. The high priest questioned Jesus about his disciples and about his teaching. "I have spoken openly to the world," Jesus answered him. "I have always taught in the synagogue and in the temple, where all the Jews congregate, and I haven't spoken anything in secret. Why do you question me? Question those who heard what I told them. Look, they know what I said." When he had said these things, one of the officials standing by slapped Jesus, saying, "Is this the way you answer the high priest?" "If I have spoken wrongly," Jesus answered him, Give evidence about the wrong. But if rightly, why do you hit me?" Then Annas sent him bound to Caiaphas the high priest's house, where all the chief priests, the elders, and the scribes had assembled. The chief priests and the whole Sanhedrin were looking for testimony against Jesus to put him to death, but they could not find any. For many were giving false testimony against him, and the testimonies did not agree. Finally, 2 came forward, stating, "We heard him say, 'I will destroy this temple with human-made hands, and in 3 days I will build another not made by hands.' Yet their testimony did not agree even on this." Then the high priest stood up before them all and questioned Jesus. "Don't you have an answer to what these men are testifying against you?" But he kept silent, and he did not answer. Again the high priest questioned him. "I charge you under oath by the living God, are you the Messiah, the Son of the Blessed One?" "You have said it. I am," Jesus said. "And you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of power and coming on the clouds of heaven." Then the high priest tore his robes and said, "He has blasphemed. Why do we still need witnesses? You have heard the blasphemy. What is your decision?" They all condemned him as deserving death. Then some began to spit in his face while mocking and beating him. After blindfolding him, they kept saying, "Prophesy to us, Messiah," and asking him, "Who was it that hit you?" The temple servants also took him and slapped him. For some reflection on this passage today, go download the free devotional and follow along with us this week. This is Pastor Bill saying, until tomorrow.